Some guys, my name is Faaiz Hussain. I'm a graduate of the batch of 2018 from LUMS Neuroscience, and my GPA was somewhat good, not that good, but not that bad either. And my current status, I'm about to pursue a master's degree from Purdue University in computer graphics technology. My overall experience of LUMS was a bit of a mixture. There were It was good in patches and bad in other patches. Uh, let's start by talking about the fee structure first of all. The fee structure, I mean, LUMS is an expensive university if you're going to pay from your own funds, but there is a wide, um, let's say, misinformation about LUMS that they do not offer any sort of substantial financial aid, whereas a lot of people that were studying in my batch and in general around LUMS were part of the National Outreach Program, which does give generous financial aid considering the fact that it is a local university. A lot of students were on that financial aid list and they did manage to keep it sustained for 4 years. And it was not really GPA based; it was more need based. There were also merit based scholarships for the toppers of each batch, and there were different breakdowns. And some schools had a slightly different policies from the other. You can find those details out from the website. And talking about the development opportunities, well, LUMS is, I would say that this year's department is certainly expanding. I mean, they've recently introduced a course on data science, and they've been programming in virtually almost every single programming language. The one good thing about LUMS is that they're continuously improving their courses. Like one recent example, although I did not really enjoy the course that much, is advanced programming. I mean, it has the latest programming languages such as Go, Haskell, etc. The things that are very into, or the things that are being followed by top IT firms such as Google, etc. And I think that they are really up to mark when it comes to the latest technologies, especially when it comes to their research, etc. A lot of the professors, they are focused on research, and they definitely do give students a chance to work with them. However, you need to go after the professors. You need to show your interest, and you need to build a sort of trust with the instructors. However, they they definitely are really good at publishing in top journals, and yeah, you will get a decent chance. You will get a decent opportunity to become an RA for some instructor, one or the other. As far as campus life goes, it's really what you make of it. There are a lot of events, there are a lot of network events. There's the start of week in Lahore. It's always hosted inside LUMS. There's also, of course, the latest National Incubation Center. There's other recruitment drives, etc., which will definitely help you out in networking and will definitely give you a good campus life if you want to go there, of course. And with the events, there are a lot of them throughout the year, especially during the winter break. And there are also concerts, etc. A lot of bands and musicians. And it's really fun if you want to have fun there. And as hostels and on-campus facilitation goes, I've been to a couple of universities. I've stayed in a couple when I was visiting for competitions, etc. I have to say that even though it's not really world class, it's still better than what I've seen in most other universities. I mean, it's not good at all, I would say, especially for people that come from really clean households, etc. It's going to be a mess, but that's mainly because of the students' fault, not really because of the management or anything like that. We tend to leave it like that, and it's really infeasible to clean out that mess up. But you can also keep your dorm, etc. clean, I think so. But you need to understand that people of various different backgrounds are coming to be staying with you in those hostels, and they might not rate hygiene as high as you do. So if you're a germaphobe, or if you're like me that likes to keep things relatively clean, it can be a little tough. But the facilitation otherwise, the food, etc., I think that's okay. That's decent at least. Well, sometimes they do go beyond, they do struggle to maintain certain qualities of, let's say, hygiene, food, etc. as well. But overall, I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay. I think you can have a decent view on campus as well. Not that good, but guzara ho jata hai. And as far as the faculty and ease of getting GPA, the one thing I really didn't like about my experience was the fact that LUMS hires professors who can, give research output rather than just train the students in a proper and efficient manner. Most of the instructors, well, no, not really most, some of the instructors are so into their research that they completely, well, they completely forget about it. They start to neglect their students. I mean, it is good in one sense that it gives you the chance to go and learn on your own, but then students start skipping classes, who don't go to the class anymore. They think it's a waste of time. They are going to learn everything on their own. Why even bother sitting there? But yeah, this is something which LUMS is pretty weak on, and as far as ease of getting GPA goes, yeah, it depends. आपने GPA सही तरीके से लेना है, hard work करनी है तो it's a lot of hard work. You can get the GPA, but you have to maintain it. Maintaining is the really hard part here. And if you want to get a GPA, you want to like cheat the system and go through loopholes, etc. अगर आप वो सीख लो तो हाँ वो भी हो सकता है, लेकिन I mean, what's the point of that? You won't become a good programmer, and that's something that I would actually discourage you from doing. And as far as the qualification goes, the teachers are very highly qualified. I must say that they pick out the top they pick out PhDs from top universities around the world. And I mean, we have people from Stanford in our faculty, we have people from Queen Mary, etc. I don't want to go into details. You can look up the individual faculty on the LUMS website as well, but they have amazing backgrounds, especially in research. That one thing LUMS has a really tight grip on. And as far as job placements, job fair, recruitment drives, there are a ton of recruitment drives everywhere throughout the campus. The thing is that in the beginning, the recruitments weren't that good. I mean, I'm talking about 4 or 5 years ago. The recruitment for CS weren't that good. They were okay. And recently, I've seen that a lot of firms have started taking up programmers from LUMS. Recent firms like Educative, like Parkfields, etc. And they've had some decent jobs. They've had some decent placements. Some of them earning even 100,000 plus on starting salary. That is insane, almost, I would say. But yeah, it is certainly possible, and they've had amazing job placements. So yeah, that's something that's really improved in the last couple of years. Opportunities abroad for MS and PhD. Well, that is the strongest point of LUMS. I don't think there's a CS faculty that has had more success than LUMS has in this criteria. I think they're really strong when it comes to connections abroad. I mean, we've had people going to top tier, and I mean top tier. By top tier, I mean MIT, Harvard, UIUC, Oxford, you name it. And I think we have an admit there on MS or on PhD with funding. I think there are only maybe 1 or 2 cases of students who don't have funding, either MS or PhD. But in general, I think there were about 20 to 30 applicants for MS and PhD, and nearly everybody got into a university with a funded offer. What was the best thing about my experience? The best thing, I guess that the experience is more or less what you make of it. If you want to be a hardworking, good, committed student, you can be that, or you can be somebody that likes to, just go through the system. LUMS is pretty much what you make of it. It's more or less like आपने जिस तरीके से करना है आप उस तरीके से करके निकल सकते हो. I think my best experience that I had at LUMS was the faculty. I mean, some of the faculty are really nice and caring. Then again, some aren't. But a few that I've interacted with, like Dr. Fareed, Dr. Mutsa, etc., they are amazing people when it comes to, especially with interacting students. I mean, they help out students a lot. They personally go like one step further than most instructors do when trying to help out students, whether it's sports related or it's admissions related or anything else, or even research related. They really like to engage their students, and they really like to help them out in circumstances. The biggest thing I would say that when it comes to the weakest thing, I think that LUMS, although is trying to eradicate plagiarism, it's still not succeeding, especially when it comes to your side. But then again, it is tricky to eradicate plagiarism, especially in computer science courses, when students, they're pretty smart. They don't just change, variables, names anymore, and get away with that. More that they literally change the entire code. But I think as time goes on, they will improve on that, and they should also improve on the transparency of grading. Some instructors, they don't. Let's just say they don't have uh, grading criteria that they focuses on merit. They have grading criteria that focus on other elements which are not controlled by human beings. Anyways, I won't really go deep into that, but this is one or two things that the LUMS CS department really needs to look into. There are a couple of instructors that do not rate merit as the high point while assessing a student's performance, and I think that is a really big issue. My final verdict on my university. Well, I think that LUMS is a bit selfish. Why? Because they're hiring professors who are really into research just to improve the rankings and their yearly publication outputs, etc. But at the same time, it is successful. It's proving out to be successful then, and it helps the students. I mean, you get people with research profiles, you get them in better, you get your students admitted to better universities. You get more funding, you get more facilities. And LUMS, I think, is kind of street smart. I mean, they have maintained their non-for-profit status, although I would highly disagree with that status. But and I think you should join it based on what you're looking for. I still don't think that the LUMS CS department is the best when it comes to job placements and coding skills. I think that I honestly believe that Faaiz University has better coders than us. They probably have better job placement. I'm not sure, but they probably do. But when it comes to research, if your aim is to go abroad and go to a top tier university, then I think that there's no better university than LUMS for CS computer science students. And people may agree or disagree with that, but it's just based on what I've seen. They have better admits, they have better guidance, and they are better informed than most of their counterparts in other universities. But that's all I have to say about that. It's still opinionized, but that's what I have experienced. So thank you so much. Take care. Allah Hafiz.